Are you finding it a little harder to get out of that chair than it used to be? Maybe climbing those stairs feels more like tackling a mountain? Or perhaps you've just noticed a general sense of, well, weakness creeping into your legs, a fatigue that lingers longer than it should after a simple walk. It's easy, isn't it? Easy to chalk these things up to just getting older. We hear it all the time. Oh, that's just part of aging. But what if I told you that this quiet decline, this gradual fading of your strength and stability, might not be the inevitable sentence you think it is? What if some of the very things you believe are constants of aging are actually signals? Signals your body is sending that something is out of balance? You might have heard alarming statistics, maybe even numbers, suggesting that seniors can lose a significant chunk of their muscle mass. Sometimes figures like 40% by age 70 are thrown around. And yes, studies like those mentioned by respected institutions do highlight a worrying link between substantial muscle loss, what scientists call sarcopenia, and a dramatically increased risk, maybe even hundreds of percent higher, of struggling with mobility, potentially facing the need for walkers, wheelchairs, or even assisted living. It sounds terrifying, doesn't it? But here's where we need to pause and ask a crucial question. Is this decline purely inevitable? Or is the common narrative, the idea that our muscles just vanish with age, obscuring a more complex truth? Could it be that factors within our influence, perhaps even related to common health advice or habits, are playing a hidden role in accelerating this muscle drain? Could the focus on one missing link or one miracle vitamin actually be distracting us from the bigger picture? Think about it. We live in an age of supplements. We're constantly told to take this for bone health, that for energy, another for immunity. We fill our pill organizers believing we're doing the right thing, fortifying ourselves against the ravages of time. But just like we explored with certain vitamins potentially weakening legs if taken improperly, could the approach to combating muscle loss also have hidden pitfalls? Could focusing too narrowly on adding specific nutrients without understanding the delicate balance required actually be counterproductive or even mask underlying issues? Have you ever felt confused by all the supplement advice out there? Maybe you're taking things now and wondering if they're truly helping your strength. Let me know in the comments below. I think many of us feel this way. And if you're finding this conversation relevant, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more insights that challenge conventional health wisdom. Now let's delve into some of the key players often mentioned in the fight against age-related muscle decline. You might see lists highlighting specific vitamins and nutrients claimed to be essential, even capable of reversing muscle loss. But instead of just accepting these claims, let's look at them through our critical lens. Are they truly miracle cures? Or is their role more nuanced, more dependent on balance and context? We won't be recommending specific brands here, that's a conversation for you and your doctor, but we will explore the science and the potential downsides or complexities often overlooked. First, let's talk about something often brought up: coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. It's not technically a vitamin, but a compound your body makes, crucial for energy production right inside your muscle cells' powerhouses, the mitochondria. The narrative you often hear is simple. CoQ10 levels drop with age, sometimes dramatically, maybe by over 60%, leading to less energy, more fatigue, weaker muscles. So the seemingly obvious solution pushed is take more CoQ10. But hold on, why are those levels dropping so significantly? Yes, aging itself plays a role, But isn't it alarming that some of the most commonly prescribed medications for seniors, particularly statins used for cholesterol management, are well-known culprits in depleting CoQ10 levels? Think about the irony. A medication taken for one aspect of health potentially undermining another, your muscle strength and energy. Suddenly, just popping a CoQ10 pill seems like patching a leak without asking why the pipe burst in the first place. If you're on statins and experiencing unexplained muscle aches, weakness, or fatigue, symptoms reported by a large percentage of users, could it be linked to this CoQ10 depletion? It's a conversation worth having with your doctor. While supplementation might be necessary for some, especially those on statins, often requiring higher doses than typically suggested for general aging, shouldn't the first step be understanding the cause? And what about absorption? CoQ10 can be tricky for the body to absorb effectively. Different forms exist, like ubiquinone versus the more active ubiquinol, and some formulations add things like black pepper extract, bioperine, or use special delivery systems to try and improve bioavailability. This highlights a crucial principle. It's not just what you take, but how well your body can actually use it. Relying solely on food sources like organ meats or fatty fish likely won't provide therapeutic doses if a significant depletion exists. Are any of you taking statins? Have you noticed muscle issues, or have you discussed CoQ10 with your doctor? Share your experiences without giving personal medical details, of course. It helps us all learn. Next up, the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D. We hear constantly about its importance for bone health, and rightly so, but it's also vital for muscle function. Your muscles actually have receptors for vitamin D, and when levels are low, muscles can weaken and waste away, a condition called atrophy. Studies do suggest that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels tend to have better muscle strength, balance, and fewer falls compared to those who are deficient. Deficiency is indeed common, especially for those who are homebound, live in northern climates, or have darker skin. So the immediate reaction is often, "I need more vitamin D." Supplements fly off the shelves. But remember our previous discussion? Vitamin D can be a double-edged sword. While deficiency is harmful, excess vitamin D can lead to high calcium levels in the blood, hypercalcemia. And what does too much calcium floating around do? It can cause muscle stiffness, cramping, weakness, and even interfere with nerve function, the very problems you're trying to solve. It's a delicate balance. Taking high-dose supplements without knowing your levels could be pushing you from deficiency into excess, potentially causing different but equally debilitating muscle issues. Have you ever felt unexplained muscle tightness or cramps despite taking vitamin D? It could be a sign of too much before reaching for those high-dose pills, often suggesting 1,000, 2,000 IU or even more daily. Wouldn't it be wiser to get a simple blood test to see where you actually stand? Getting vitamin D from sensible sun exposure when possible, and food sources, fatty fish, fortified dairy, egg yolks, allows your body to regulate it more naturally. If you do need supplements, using the D3 form, cholecalciferol, is generally considered more effective than D2. But the dose should ideally be guided by your blood levels and your doctor's advice, not just guesswork. Let's turn to vitamin B12. This is another nutrient critical for nerve health and energy metabolism, both essential for muscle function. As we age, our ability to absorb B12 from food often decreases significantly. This can happen due to conditions like atrophic gastritis, affecting up to 30% of older adults, which reduces stomach acid needed to release B12 from food proteins. Also, common medications like metformin for diabetes and proton pump inhibitors, PPIs for acid reflux, can severely impair B12 absorption. The consequences? Poor nerve function, leading to miscommunication between the brain and muscles. This can manifest as weakness, poor coordination, unsteadiness, tingling, numbness, symptoms often dismissed as just old age. B12 is also vital for making red blood cells that carry oxygen to your muscles. Insufficient oxygen means muscle fatigue and poor performance. Now, the common advice might be to just take a B12 supplement. But if the problem is absorption in the gut, will simply swallowing a standard cyanocobalamin pill, the most common, cheapest form, solve the issue? Maybe not. This is where understanding forms and delivery methods becomes important. Some suggest that the methylcobalamin form might be better utilized by the body. Delivery methods that bypass stomach absorption, like sublingual lozenges or sprays that melt under the tongue, or even injections in cases of severe deficiency or diagnosed absorption issues, might be more effective for some seniors. Again, testing your B12 levels and potentially markers that indicate how well your body is using B12 is key. Simply taking more without addressing the underlying absorption problem could be ineffective. Food sources are primarily animal products: meat, fish, eggs, dairy, making vegans and some vegetarians particularly susceptible to deficiency if not supplementing correctly. What about vitamin C? Often hailed as an immune booster, it also plays roles relevant to muscle health. It's crucial for building collagen, the connective tissue that supports muscles. It's a potent antioxidant, protecting muscle cells from damage caused by free radicals, oxidative stress, that accumulates with age. And it's involved in making carnitine, which helps transport fat into muscle cells to be burned for energy. All true, but is it the star player in preventing muscle loss that some might imply? While deficiency is certainly bad, leading to weakened connective tissue and potentially more fatigue, most people in developed countries get adequate vitamin C from their diet: citrus fruits, berries, peppers, broccoli, potatoes. Because it's water-soluble, your body doesn't store large amounts, so consistent daily intake from food is generally sufficient and preferable. Megadosing with supplements is unlikely to provide significant additional muscle-building benefits and can sometimes cause digestive upset or, in susceptible individuals, contribute to kidney stones. While some formulations use citrus flavonoids or liposomal delivery systems claiming better absorption or longer activity, the fundamental need for most seniors is likely met through a colorful diet. It's a vital supporting actor perhaps, but maybe not the lead role in muscle preservation compared to others. Now let's talk about a mineral that, in my opinion, is often the unsung hero, and perhaps far more critical for daily muscle function and preventing age-related issues than many realize: magnesium. While technically not a vitamin, its role is so central it must be discussed. Why is it so important? Magnesium is involved in over 300 essential biochemical reactions in your body, many directly impacting your muscles. Crucially, it acts as a natural calcium blocker. Remember how calcium is needed for muscle contraction? Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation. Without enough magnesium, calcium can dominate, leaving muscles in a state of partial contraction. What does this feel like? Cramps, spasms, tightness, persistent tension sound familiar? This chronic tension not only feels bad, but also fatigues muscles and can contribute to their breakdown over time. Furthermore, magnesium is absolutely vital for creating ATP, the fundamental energy currency your cells, especially active muscle cells, run on. Low magnesium means impaired energy production, leading directly to weakness and fatigue. It's also essential for protein synthesis, the very process of building and repairing muscle tissue. Even mild deficiency can hamper your body's ability to maintain muscle mass. Here's the kicker. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common among older adults. Estimates often exceed 60%. Our modern diets are often low in magnesium-rich foods. Dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, whole grains, beans, and soil depletion can reduce the magnesium content even in these healthy foods. On top of that, just like with B12, many common medications seniors take, diuretics, PPIs, certain antibiotics, can deplete magnesium levels. And again, the symptoms, fatigue, weakness, cramps, are so easily dismissed as just aging. Are you seeing a pattern in here? Given the difficulty of getting enough from diet alone and the potential for medication-induced depletion, supplementation is often necessary. But not all forms are equal. Magnesium oxide is common and cheap, but poorly absorbed and notorious for causing diarrhea, a laxative effect that makes people stop taking it. Forms like magnesium glycinate, citrate, or malate are generally better absorbed and gentler on the stomach. Finding the right form and dose, seniors typically need around 320 millilograms for women, 420 millilograms for men daily from all sources, often requires some trial and error, ideally with guidance. Do you experience frequent leg cramps, especially at night? Or that feeling of restless legs or persistent muscle tension? It might be worth considering if your magnesium intake is adequate. Talk to your doctor about it. Finally, let's tackle creatine. If you hear creatine, you might immediately think of young bodybuilders trying to bulk up. And for years, that association has unfairly prevented many seniors from considering what might be one of the most effective and well-researched supplements for preserving muscle mass and function later in life. Creatine isn't an artificial drug. It's a natural compound your body produces and finds in foods like meat and fish. Its primary job in muscles is to help regenerate ATP rapidly. Think of ATP as the instant fuel needed for quick, powerful movements, like pushing up from a chair, catching yourself if you stumble, or lifting a bag of groceries. These are exactly the kinds of movements that become harder with age and sarcopenia. By increasing your muscle's stores of phosphocreatine, the storage form, creatine essentially provides more readily available backup fuel for these crucial actions. But here's something even more compelling for seniors. Creatine has been shown to enhance the activity of satellite cells. These are muscle stem cells responsible for repairing damage and building new muscle tissue. As we age, satellite cell function declines significantly, perhaps by 50% or more after 60, making it much harder to maintain or rebuild muscle. Research, including clinical trials specifically on older adults, shows that creatine supplementation, especially when combined with even light resistance exercise, can significantly boost this satellite cell activity, effectively helping to rejuvenate the muscle's own repair mechanisms. The results can be impressive. Studies show seniors combining creatine with exercise gaining more strength, e.g. 14% increases, and lean mass, e.g. adding over 2 pounds in relatively short periods, like 12 weeks, compared to exercise alone. This translates directly to easier daily activities, and preserved independence. And you don't need the high loading doses young athletes use. A consistent daily dose of just 3 to 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, the most studied, effective, and cheapest form, is typically recommended for seniors. Trying to get this amount from food is impractical. You'd need pounds of meat daily. This makes supplementation a logical choice. Micronized creatine monohydrate simply dissolves better, which can be helpful. Worried about safety? Creatine is one of the most extensively studied supplements on the planet, with hundreds of peer-reviewed studies confirming its safety, even with long-term use in older populations. And excitingly, emerging research suggests creatine may also offer benefits for brain health and cognitive function, a fantastic potential 2-for-1 benefit for seniors. So we've looked at CoQ10, vitamin D, B12, vitamin C, magnesium, and creatine. The key takeaway shouldn't be to rush out and buy all 6. The real message, echoing our initial theme, is about understanding the complexity. Your body doesn't work in isolation. Nutrients interact. Too much calcium without enough magnesium causes problems. Medications deplete vital nutrients. Absorption changes with age. Focusing solely on one miracle ingredient misses the forest for the trees. While targeted supplementation might be helpful, especially if tests show deficiencies or specific needs like creatine for muscle function or magnesium due to common shortfalls, the absolute foundation must be a nutrient-dense diet. Whole foods, colorful vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, healthy fats, nuts, seeds, whole grains provide these nutrients in natural balance, along with fiber, phytonutrients, and countless other compounds that work synergistically. And let's not forget protein. Adequate protein intake is crucial for providing the building blocks muscles need, especially as we age, when the body may be less efficient at using it. Are you getting enough protein distributed throughout your day? And critically, no supplement can replace the single most important factor for maintaining muscle: movement. Specifically, some form of resistance exercise. This doesn't mean you need to become a bodybuilder. Simple activities like using resistance bands, lifting light weights, doing chair squats, or even gardening can provide the stimulus your muscles need to stay strong. Supplements can support the process, perhaps making exercise more effective or recovery easier, but they cannot replace the signal that exercise sends to your muscles to stick around and stay functional. Hydration and adequate sleep are also crucial pieces of the puzzle for muscle health and recovery. The journey of aging inevitably brings changes, but feeling progressively weaker, losing your balance, and sacrificing your independence doesn't have to be your unavoidable destiny. By understanding the real reasons behind muscle decline, the interplay of nutrients, the impact of medications, the critical role of absorption, the necessity of protein and exercise, you empower yourself to take proactive steps. So what's one thing you've learned today that made you pause and think? What's one small step you might consider taking? Whether it's talking to your doctor about a specific nutrient or medication interaction, looking more closely at your diet, or adding some simple resistance exercises to your routine. Share your thoughts and intentions in the comments below. Let's create a supportive community where we can learn from each other and navigate these challenges together. If this discussion resonated with you and offered a different perspective, please give the video a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe for more content focused on balanced, evidence-based health for vibrant aging. Thank you for watching. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health. Be informed, be proactive, and here's to maintaining your strength, mobility, and independence for years to come.